Hey, namaste, you guys. It's me, Sweetie, and I want to talk to you today about Freedom Town, our movement for sovereignty through conscious living, right? So, of course, I'm super duper organized, so I have all of my notes to make sure that I stay on point throughout this conversation or this video. The objective of this video is for you to get a better idea of who I am, where I came from, what I'm doing, and how you fit into the grand scheme of things, or what I'm calling endgame or assimilation. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Who am I? Okay, well, you probably already know me, either as Sweetie or as Sharice. Either one will do. It kind of is the same thing. Um, how I started. Okay, so a long time ago, a long time ago, like far, far away, but back in about, I'll say 2008, my grandma told me that she was sick with cancer, and that's pretty much where this whole thing spiraled from. It grew from that knowledge, that awakening for me, into understanding how cancer starts, and through that awakening, I understood the whole point of everything that's going on, which boils down to stealing sovereignty, right? And it's not just a physical sovereignty like your physical freedoms, but it's like emotional, mental. It's all about playing on energy through illusions and assimilation. So that is why I call it the end game, which is what I'm going for here. And the end game is not about ending life or existence. It's about ending the game, the assimilation, cutting the crap, pretty much. So I started a company called Be a Sweetie. And at this time, I was very early in the process. I didn't know much about gardening. All I knew was that they were poisoning us through our food and our products. And it was also psychological warfare, a play on self-awareness, self-reliance. It was just all of those things. And so I started getting into, first, better shopping. So like buying organic products, how to read labels, all of that stuff, which is very important if that's a major part of your life. If you are shopping, you definitely want to be a conscious shopper, right? And then it led from there into me learning about gardening. So before I even became a master gardener, I had already got a plot of land. I thought I had help, and it didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go. In 2015, I became a master gardener through the University of Maryland, which is where I actually got an education and realized where all my faults were when I began with the piece of land, and how I could improve from there. And so that brought me to also a realization of the spiritual warfare that was the other side of the chemical warfare on our food and our products, and how all of that in the food and in the products ultimately affected the pineal gland, and how the pineal gland ties into spirituality, and spirituality into physics, and boom, you got Sweetie, right? And so and so now I created Sweetie Consulting. And see, Sweetie Consulting was a result of talking to business people about my vision, not yet really understanding, and this is like 2012, not really understanding what my vision exactly was, but trying to get clearer on what it meant to me. And so I created Sweetie Consulting, which pretty much tackled the spiritual side, because I saw that a lot of people, when I was trying to get them to garden, they didn't believe they could do it. You know what I mean? Like they thought that their mindset was just such a helpless place. And I'm like, oh, people need a spiritual build up. Like they need to understand the power that is them, that they are. And so with that, I started to teach about like the chakras, and I started myself learning from Abraham Hicks, or Esther Hicks, Bob Proctor, that whole secret thing, you know. And I'm not the type of person that can just watch a documentary and go with it. So I watched The Secret, and then from The Secret, I went and looked up each individual person that was on there and what they were talking about. And that's how I found Bob Proctor. And funny enough, they took Esther Hicks out of The Secret, but I still managed to come across her. And that's when I learned about the vortex and vibes and vibrations and things of that nature. And so I found that everybody was telling you to get good vibes, have good vibes, be positive, but nobody was actually breaking it down on how to achieve this, either spiritually, scientifically. They weren't giving you the path. And so that's when I created the conscious living path that I've done, the method, the Sweetie method of alignment, chakra care, checking your body for vitamin deficiencies, creating a healthy lifestyle, shopping with consciousness, making your own products, and how to meditate. You know what I mean? I created that whole path from that. And that was Sweetie Consulting. And then I realized, okay, let's do all of it together, because that is conscious living. Conscious living is self-awareness and self-reliance. So it is Sweetie Consulting and Be a Sweetie. And when you put together the two, you get Freedom Town. And Freedom Town is a place that is national. It is first a place in your heart. It is first a mindset and the understanding that you can create for yourself the things that you need to survive. And if you can create for yourself the things that you need to survive, it leaves nothing left but freedom to thrive. And that is to do the things that you want to do, be it monetary things or just experiences that you want to have. You have the freedom to do those things, right? And so where you come in, that's where you come in. You come into Freedom Town and being able to express your sovereignty style, right? So let's talk about that. Who is Freedom Town for, right? Freedom Town is for you. It's for me. It's basically for any awakened person who is participating in conscious living, right? So what is Freedom Town? What is it? What is it? It is sovereignty by conscious living to your degree, having comfort with luxury and harmony, right? So it's about pretty much having these same comforts that we have right now, but not hurting the earth and being taken advantage of by corporations to do it. It means having the same exact things you have now without having to pay utility bills every month and rent every month to people who have no interest in your best interest. That's what it's about. It is sovereignty style, right? So let's hit them real quick. So the first one is coping and creating, right? So coping and creating is pretty much where society is still providing you with all of your basic needs, which are food, clothing, water, shelter, right? And if you want to throw in power, you can throw in power, because power is pretty freaking awesome, you know? So food, clothing, water, shelter, power, right? And what are we talking about? Coping and creating is when society is providing all of these things for you. What you do is provide peace for yourself to cope with what you have to go through to get society to provide these things for you. Be it work or entrepreneurship, it doesn't matter. Either way, you're still living amongst and actively a part of the grid. So you are part of the grid, you're plugged into the grid, but you are also creating your own inner peace. You're creating your own clarity within the system, right? Coping, creating, and sovereign. Okay, coping, creating, and sovereign is where it's kind of 50-50, you know. You provide some things for yourself, but society is still providing for you more so. So it's probably like 60-40 really. 60 society, 40 yourself. So that means like you might use herbs, but you might not grow all of the herbs you use. You might go out and purchase some herbs from the market. You know, those little herbal kits you can get near the lettuce in the market. You might go and purchase them and use them to make your sage wand, or you might have a couple pots of flowers. Coping, creating, and sovereign, it means that you are still on the grid with some off-grid features. So you might have a home that's still in a regular neighborhood, like the home I live in now. This is like a row house. So you may have a row house, but you go and you purchase the home. You're not renting anymore. And with that purchase, you're able to do things like install rainwater systems, and you're able to install solar panels and gardens and things of that nature. So that is coping, creating, and sovereign. You practice things like self-healing, meditation, all of those types of things. So you're still living on the grid with off-the-grid features. Next is connecting, creating, and sovereign. This person purchases land, builds a home, grows their food, makes their own products. They may occasionally visit local stores and barter with surrounding neighbors and things, but 90% of their needs come from their own hands. Food, clothing, water, shelter, power. They provide all of that stuff for themselves. Any engagement they have with society is because I want to, not because I have to or I need to. So those are the 3 sovereignty styles that you can find within the Freedom Town community. You know what I'm saying? Where? Okay, well, there's 2 wheres. One is nationally. Freedom Town is a national community. It doesn't matter where you are. As of now, we have members in Cali, Colorado, Florida, oh gosh, Baltimore. We got some people upstate. Up north. Like, we have people everywhere. So it's a national community where we're pulling our resources to be able to build sovereignty for each person to their own style of sovereignty. So the Freedom Town movement as a whole is national. This meetup that's coming for Freedom Town will be at my home in Baltimore, Maryland on September the 15th. I am in downtown Baltimore. It will also be live streaming, so you'll be able to join in person and via the internet, so it's no worries. When, I just said the when, the meetup will be September the 15th. The Freedom Town as a whole, the when, we have a 4 to 5 year plan for our first moves. This is year 1 of that plan, which is education, which involves the Earthship Biotech Academy in Taos, New Mexico. But I'll get deeper into that in a minute. Why? For freedom from systematic living and dependency. Total systematic living and dependency. This is to give you some breathing room, some space to really stretch your legs and really have a life experience instead of just being here to serve somebody else, because that sucks, you know. It is about health and wellness, travel to increase your savings, for spirituality's sake. The why is so vast. Every single person, I think, as an individual will have their own why as to why they are a part of Freedom Town. But in general, the why is freedom from dependency on the system. That is the why. How? Good question. So each year, like you heard me mention, we have a 4 to 5 year plan. Each year we'll have a goal. This year is year 1, 2019 to 2020. 2020, yeah. And our goal this year is education. So we need approximately 3,200 to get to Taos and just be comfortable, not even fancy or anything. Like, we'll be definitely eating camping style. We'll be working every day from 9 to 5. So this year's goal is all about getting to Taos, New Mexico. So the how comes in how we achieve this goal. One way is splitting the amount. So let's say in September the 15th, it's all about creating the membership, the actual collective. So let's say we have 10 members of the Freedom Town National Community, right? Between those 10 members, the 3,200 will be split. Each person will be responsible for a certain amount of the 3,200. How they get that amount does not necessarily mean out of their pocket. Don't get me wrong. If you can come out of pocket and just don't have to worry about the fundraising part, that's fine. But guess what? We have things in play so that the money that you make from your job can be the money from your job, and you can earn money to build the collective together. So we have let me get all of my stuff together. We have donations. We're always taking donations. You can always find fundraisers being active on GoFundMe, and I've been trying on Facebook, but they've been blocking me. Sponsorships. I have a sponsorship letter. We are looking for not corporate, but business sponsorships from people, and individuals could sponsor us too, and they would get certain rewards for the sponsorship. I don't have a set of rewards for an individual, so they could partake in the online academy, which is also where you can send people who want to learn about the different ways that we go about conscious living at Sweetie Consulting. They can go on there and learn about chakras, alignment, conscious shopping, aromatherapy. They can learn about crystals. It's a lot of different information they can partake of at sweetieconsulting.com per donation. It's pay what you can. So they can fill out the form, put your name on the form to let us know that you sent them, and whatever amount they donate is counted as your dues for that year, or goes toward the amount that you're responsible for that year. It's really cool stuff. Of course, everything will be done. Well, the last how is with disclosure and transparency. Um, it's so important to me that this is a level playing field, that we are all aware of what's going on, what moves are being made. In order to be a part of that and to get that type of detailed information, you will have to be a member on the board, a part of the team, locked in, like determined this is what you're doing. You're decided that these are the moves you want to make, and you are an official member of the cooperative. Then you will receive information, the maximum transparency, where every dollar goes, what every decision is, maximum input. All of those things are associated with being members of the actual cooperative. Now I have some things that I just want to talk about, some misconceptions that are often made. Eco homes, they are not caves. Please follow me on my Instagram so that you can see the homes that I share. Join the Freedom Town group. I share them in there. There are very chic, very modern, off-grid or on-grid with off-grid features. Like, there are ways to go about it that can give you all of that, the Jetsons and none of the Flintstones. It can happen. Brand promo, that is also very exciting. So if you know Nicole Fullert or Awaken the Magic Within, Sweetie Consulting is a promoter of her brand. She is aligned with our mission ethically, morally, spiritually, and physically. She is, in fact, a member of the Freedom Town Cooperative. And so, with that being said, her business is supported by our cooperative and our collective. And with that, we promote her. You can find her on our website. We talk with her on Facebook and on Instagram. And we welcome you to be a part of that too if your business values are aligned with ours, which pretty much is money never supersedes people. People but for profits. That's pretty much what it is. Moving forward, like I've mentioned several times, we have September the 15th, which is the actual physical meetup date for the Freedom Town Co-op meetup. It will be live streaming and in person at my home, which is in South Baltimore. Also, we are going to the Earthship Biotech May the 4th to May 22nd, 2020. Really excited about that. We will be there. It will not be a joke. If you want to know more about any of these things, please make sure that you register for the September 15th meetup. That one will be getting way more in depth. This is about a 20-minute video. That will be a 3-hour event. So I really hope that you become a part of the co-op. I hope that something in this video resonates with you. Maybe one of the sovereignty styles or just the overall message. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me via email. You can hit Messenger. I do not have a phone number. I'm not a fan of phone calls. So email and messaging me are the top ways to contact me. I thank you for taking your time to watch this video. I send you light, love, and many blessings. Talk to you soon.